The story of Nasima Ghulami, a generation's cry for justice. Nasima Ghulami's painful account of the terrorist bombing at Syed Shuhada Girls' School is not merely the narration of a tragic event. It is the cry of a generation fighting for justice and for acknowledgement of their suffering amid systematic genocide. Nasima Ghulami, one of the students at Syed Shuhada Girls' School, recounts her experience of the explosion in 2021, which changed her life and the lives of hundreds of families in western Kabul. Life and dreams before the tragedy. In 2021, Nasima was a 7th grade student at Syed Shuhada School. She notes that before the incident, she had never faced threats or discrimination. Her dreams revolved around studying, her passion for learning, and her love for various arts such as painting, calligraphy, and sewing. She hoped to become a journalist in the future. The moment of explosion and the horror in the hospital. The incident occurred at 4:30 in the afternoon, as the students were leaving school. Nasima and her close friend Rokia were walking home when the explosion happened, throwing her to the ground. Her leg was injured, and she was instantly thinking of her friend, so she screamed, "Where is my friend?" There was a horrific scene surrounding her, with girls in critical conditions, some with severed legs, others with their stomachs torn open. The panic was so overwhelming that Nasima even struggled to remember her own name when she was asked about it. At Mola Ali Hospital, there were no empty beds, so she was placed on the floor. She witnessed one of the girls dying before her eyes. Despite her own wounds, she begged the doctors to help another girl who was bleeding heavily, only to later learn that the girl had passed away. Searching family and the beginning of trauma. At 11 p.m., her family found her at the hospital after having seen her in photos shared on social media. Her mother reassured her that Rokia and Khadija were fine and at home. She was brought home by her mother. The next morning, she woke up in severe pain, and the nightmares began. She kept reliving the horrific scenes, fainting and screaming. Sleeping pills and sedatives could not erase the trauma from her mind. Surgeries and return to school. A week later, doctors discovered shrapnel lodged in her calf requiring surgery. Because the shrapnel was close to a nerve, several hospitals refused to operate. Eventually, the Children's Health Hospital agreed and successfully removed it. 40 days after the explosion, Nasima returned to school. But upon seeing the alley where it had happened, she panicked and fainted. Psychologists from aid organizations provided therapy sessions at her home, which she described as helpful and life-saving. To this day, she continues to suffer mentally and cannot get through a day without medication for her headaches. Today's challenges and her call for justice. Nasima says her passion for art has diminished, and nowadays she paints only as a hobby. She remains in Afghanistan, and despite the restrictive conditions under the current regime, including the closure of schools and universities, she continues to hold on to hope. Her greatest fear for the future is the ban on education. She no longer has the courage to speak publicly or perform before an audience of 100 people. Reflecting on the attack on Syed Shuhada School, she recalls that no group ever claimed responsibility, and the government at the time took no action to investigate or bring those responsible to justice. She calls upon the international community and human rights organizations to support the young generation and the youth of Afghanistan, address the depression and complex trauma faced by Afghan youth, and provide opportunities for education, employment, and progress. Her final message: with almost every Hazara family mourning lost loved ones or caring for the injured, supporting the Hazara people has become a necessity. Do not forget the Hazara people.